Greetings and happy Halloween, everyone. We have with us today paranormal author Misty Simon, and she's the author of the Magically Suspicious Mysteries
Yes.
series and Adventures in Ghost Sitting.
Yes.
Both paranormal, fabulous books. I have
Thank you.
read, I've read all the books for the Magically Suspicious Mysteries,
Right.
all six, so I have to graduate to Adventures in Ghost Sitting. But
They're fun.
we're doing this a little early for recording, but happy Halloween, everyone. It is
Happy
September though.
Halloween. That's, as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned, Halloween's pretty much all year round. So,
Yes, exactly. This is Vivian Lee. I was gonna grab my cup. I had my first pumpkin spice latte. Well, the pumpkin
oh,
spice creamer has come out, and
yes.
I made my first pumpkin spice at home coffee today.
Oh, there you go.
Actually sent out a picture of it to everyone.
Good for you.
So who is your friend there?
So this is my little I personally think it's a little witchy gnome. I
Yeah.
think it's supposed to be Maleficent. But
Oh,
no, once you come into my house, you're not anybody else but who you want to be. So
exactly.
I do love that the top can be
Yes.
readjusted to, whatever you want that to look
Yes.
like. And
Oh,
yes,
I see. You can make them like a
yep.
TV, like the old TV
Yeah.
antennas.
Yes. Yes. That we've
That's
just
great.
aged ourselves. Good job on that.
Oh, I know. Believe me.
Ah.
Gosh. Well,
And
anyway,
then,
let me.
I have a coffin behind me. And
Yes.
lots of this is my up there is my pop vinyl. And I have Velma from Scooby Doo. I
Oh,
have Inspector Gadget. I have
wow.
Sherlock Hemlock from the Muppets.
Oh
So
my goodness. I love
yep.
it.
Yep. I
Yeah.
also have, we'll just share this for a second. I
Oh, the
don't know if you can
Haunted
see it.
Mansion Dune
Yes, it's a
Buggy,
Doom buggy.
the
Yep.
hitchhiking ghost, and this 50th
Yep.
anniversary.
I love that. And
Love
I
it.
also
Love
have
it.
a key to I have a, what are these
The Haunted
called?
Mansion.
Yes, it's a Haunted Mansion key, but is it called a groundskeeper key, I think?
Oh
So
my
yeah,
goodness.
I have people tend to realize how much I enjoy the Haunted
Oh
Mansion.
yes. Oh
And then they're
yes.
like, I have to get a gift. Oh, we'll just go get something Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I just
Yes.
went with a girlfriend to Disneyland in August, and I picked
Oh,
this up from
oh,
the gallery store.
I love it.
And that's your
Nice.
hitchhiking ghost again in the Dooms buggy.
Yep. I
So,
actually have the hitchhiking ghosts standing all next to each other, and they light up in like four different colors,
oh my gosh.
and it does the whole speech as you're going out.
Oh,
So
how cool. Oh, I'm gonna have to
yeah,
ask
yeah,
you
like I
to
said,
email me the link.
yeah, absolutely.
And that item I just showed you, it's a Christmas ornament, but I can put it out at Halloween and Christmas, right?
I
So
mean, really, you keep it out all
yeah, but I
year.
was in the gallery store at downtown Disney. Is in California. All the East Coasters where the original Disneyland was. But
Yes.
I was at the downtown Disney store, the gallery, and I was showing it to my friend. It slipped out of my hand. It broke, but they
Oh
didn't
no.
charge me. And I told her I'm going to buy one anyway. I'm going to buy one anyway. And she goes, "That's
Yeah.
okay." And of course, she
Yeah.
teased the cashier and said, "Charge her for two," but they didn't.
You're like,
I've never.
well, my checking account can't handle two. Like, I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying.
right. And I've never dropped anything in a store like that before.
It's funny. So I am super careful about that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
I want to say I was like 7 or 8 years old and we went to Hess's, which used to be over here, and they like you take the
You're in
train in.
Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, right. So you take the train in, you get off at the bottom, and there's like a dining area, and they would do fashion shows while you're eating. This was at Christmas time.
Ooh.
And so we went all the way up, and you it was that elevator thing where floor 7 for dining
Oh yeah.
wear, formal attire, like they're announcing it. So we
Ladies
get off.
lingerie.
Yeah, exactly, ladies lingerie. And I had a big winter coat on, and I turned around and
Uh-oh.
knocked an entire display of crystal goblets
Oh my God.
over. Because look, here's how Misty works.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen, it's happening here, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be monumental. And I am just going to absorb the experience
Right.
because after 45 years, I can tell you very definitely that this is me. So we
Yeah.
might as well just roll with it.
Well, I think the store should have thought of that with children and coats and stuff, you know.
I I also believe
Yeah.
the same thing, and I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
get in trouble or anything, but I
Yeah.
was just like, my mom was horrified. Of course, she was like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm
My
sorry." And the
gosh.
lady was like, "Don't even. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And
I'm
I'm
sure
like,
they rearranged the display after that.
"Yeah." I'm certain they did.
Oh my goodness. My cat's she's on my arm. Anyway,
Oh, of course.
they always like to be involved.
Yes.
So I know you're gonna have some guests soon, so I remembered the questions. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm trying to word it perfectly.
Sure.
Each morning, when you get up in the morning,
Yeah.
what is it about the magical, ghostly, and unexplained realm that keeps you riveted to write about it?
So I thought about this question a lot, and I believe that the thing that most keeps me is the possibilities.
Yeah.
I love the idea of there being things out there that we cannot explain. I love the idea of spirits that, still want to stay in contact. I love that, even though you're gone, you're not completely gone. As far as that would be like the Adventures in Ghost Sitting is about a woman who owns a junkyard, and everything in the junkyard has a ghost attached to it. So, and they're all very badly behaved. And she's very much into the 80s. So all of the titles have to do with 80s stuff. Like the first one is Desperately Seeking Salvage.
Oh yeah.
I have Every Death You Take, All Died Out, I Wear My Ghost Goggles at Night. And so these are all like plays on 80s things. Her mom, when she passed away, put herself into a Victrola. And so
Oh
when
my.
she doesn't want to listen to her mom anymore, she just lifts the needle off the record. Because
Yeah.
who doesn't want the ability?
Yeah.
So, but then with Magically Suspicious, those are more creature kind of books. And so in those, every person there is not capable of doing the one thing they're supposed to do. So like I have a werewolf that
Right.
has, the ability to only change his nose and his tail, which is a little
Oh yeah.
bad for business on the full moon. A dragon who only breathes smoke, and he runs the forge at the Ren Fair because as you do. And so like that possibility, I love the idea that there's more that you can do than you think you can. And they don't willy-nilly use the magic all over the place, but they do um learn their abilities and try really hard to use them for good. And that possibility, that I think it's in line with people who like superheroes, um
Yeah.
that we could and are and possibly can be more than you think you are. And I love that.
Yeah. Jinx. That is.
You owe
Oh
me a Coke.
yeah. Really. I do want to visit you in Pennsylvania one day.
I would love that. I think that we would have to warn the restaurant ahead of time,
Yeah.
that some shenanigans are about to come in and to just brace
Exactly.
themselves.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But I love the 80s reference too. That's my era. I'm not
Yes.
ashamed to say,
No,
I'm
not
one of
at
those
all.
ladies that will not shy away from my age.
Nope.
But by
I'm
this
good
time
with it.
we've earned it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that, I mean, do I like that when somebody says 20 years ago, I immediately think 1980 and they mean
Yeah.
2002? No, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But, in the scheme of things, there are a lot of people who didn't get to age. And I'm thankful every day that I get to wake up and do all of the things that I do. Sit with my little guy who I like to call Mortimer, and
Oh,
write books and
yeah.
share stories. And for my day job, I actually work with long-term acute care hospitals, which are people who, generally speaking, are like in nursing homes, and if they get hurt, they come to us and we
Oh,
fix them and then we put them back. And so being able to work in the real world as well as the fictional world, and hopefully make a difference in both of those, is
yeah.
pretty freaking amazing, to be honest with you. I mean,
Exactly. It's like
it's
two lives.
yes, and it's a privilege.
Yeah.
That I value every single day. Anytime I get a review, anytime I hear from a reader, I just am so um blessed, I guess would be the right word, to be able to provide escape, and sometimes a different point of view, maybe something that they're going through, that they're like, oh, I had not thought about that. Or even
Yeah.
just, the escape and the different point of view at the exact same time. People who are just going through things and they need something to
Yes.
pull them out. Look, if you want to read about a junkyard with, corgi that's very badly behaved also,
Yeah.
bring it on over. I laughingly, so if we're talking about age, I will call myself Calgon, because
Call
back in the
yourself what?
day, Calgon.
Oh,
And so, because back in the day, that was like a huge commercial, was,
yeah.
Calgon takes you away. It's a
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that you put in your bathtub. And so, if
Yeah.
I can do that, and if that speaks to you, then please come on over. I mean,
Right.
it's a beautiful thing.
And on really hot, humid days in New York, I'll still say I want to take the Nestea plunge. And some of the, well, oh, sorry, that was, they go crazy.
Yeah.
My familiars, but that was, one of the millennials go, what? And I'm like, never mind.
Okay.
It's
Just
like
sort of,
a guy was holding a cup of iced tea and he would fall in a pool. And they're like,
yes.
oh, okay. And they're like, oh,
Sounds great. Thanks for sharing.
yeah. Well, anyway, so, okay, now I love this question too. This is a really fun one. What was
Yeah.
your best Halloween ever?
Ooh, best Halloween ever.
Yeah.
So, I am gonna say, there was a Halloween-esque, and then there was a Halloween. So I had a friend who turned 40, and her entire birthday party was a zombie party.
Oh,
And so I'll have to find the picture and I'll send it to you.
yeah, yeah.
So my friends and I got together and we made all of these t-shirts, and it was the zombie squad. And so on the back, we were all something. I was Misty the Mutilator. I
Ah,
found myself at the thrift store a pair of blue camo pants with the Statue of Liberty in silver spray on
oh my
on the
God.
legs. I wore combat boots. I had enormous hair. And my husband dressed in Zombieland. He had the double tap t-shirt on.
Oh,
And
oh.
so we were we all had the weapons and stuff. And so we all came in because almost everybody else was a zombie and we were the hunters. And it was
Oh,
hysterical. And my friend got a prom dress, and just, I mean, she was spot on. And all the desserts were zombie-esque brain
oh
stuff
my
and
God.
stuff. So
That's great.
so there's that. The
Yeah.
Halloween, though, the actual Halloween, I am gonna say that one of my best Halloweens was the very first one where I had a child. I dressed her up as a ladybug. No, she was a
Oh,
fairy. She was a fairy, and I made the whole costume, even the little booties for her feet. And then I dressed up also as a fairy. And her wings, I actually got a garden implement from Walmart, and it was like a stake with these butterfly wings, and I ripped them off the
oh,
stake and I put them on her.
oh,
The sharing,
yeah.
the fun,
Yeah.
of Halloween with and knowing that this was the beginning of something that hopefully she would love just as much as I did was awesome. I have been to any number of things. I tend to be Lady Beetlejuice the last couple of years because
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
really big hair that I can make
yeah.
look like whatever I wanted to. One year, my parents went as bacon and eggs, and yeah,
I love
so
it.
that was,
Yeah.
that was so the Halloween's a big thing here.
Yeah.
Halloween, and especially in Pennsylvania, which they don't do it as much anymore, but
Oh,
they used to have a mischief night. And so that was the night before.
really?
Yep, Halloween,
Oh,
everybody there was, toilet papering, TPing houses and eggs and all that. And so when I was growing up, they just assumed it was going to happen and they let people run wild as long as you didn't do anything that actually vandalized anything,
yeah.
they were fine. Now, in the town I live in now, they don't like that at all. And so what they've done, and to also help with traffic and stuff, is that trick-or-treating is always the Thursday before Halloween. So they don't
Oh,
actually get to trick-or-treat on Halloween unless it's a Thursday. And I was like,
oh,
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. However, different towns have different days. So
yeah.
if you really wanted in, you could trick or treat like 4 days in the week.
Oh my God, just go from town to town.
Yeah, you just, make sure your parents drop you off in the right town and then
Yeah.
go start knocking on some doors. But
Ah,
my husband's very big into Halloween also. So we have like
yeah.
we have a fog machine, we have, big pumpkins and
Oh yeah.
candy, and we sit out there and we have a monster soundtrack that,
Oh, that
and I
goes round
love it
and
all. Yes. And then,
round.
now I don't, my daughter is 21, so we don't really trick or treat anymore.
Yeah.
However, I love sitting on the porch because here you don't really knock on doors so much as if somebody's out on their porch or out on their sidewalk, then you know that they're doing
Oh,
candy.
okay.
Or the lights on. If the light is on, then you can knock if
Yeah.
nobody's out there. But most people sit outside. Um, I love watching the costumes.
Oh
I
yeah.
love the little kids who are dragons. One year
Yeah.
my daughter was a Pegasus and it was absolutely adorable. I mean, I
Oh
love the thought of being something else just for a night,
yeah.
and whatever your imagination brings you. And I'll be really honest, you want to bring me a 17-year-old that's dressed up as Freddy Krueger, I will absolutely give you candy. If you're going to take that night and really just enjoy it
Yeah.
and breathe in the possibilities, I'm all about that. And I love the idea of the veil being thin. That's a big thing. And so, yeah, all of it,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I know that we're reaching end of time, but when you said that, when you said if you want to be something else for a night, and it
Yes.
kind of takes you, well, like you were saying, takes you away kind
Yeah.
of from your own troubles or whatever. And it's not that you're hiding or trying to escape like
No.
you would someone doing drugs or something. It's
Right.
just having fun or
Yes.
going out to see a movie. So I remember that we all remember the year 2008, that whole real estate dropout, and
Yes.
we went into bad recession. I lost my
Mhm.
job too, and all this stuff.
Oh,
And I was moving back to California from New York, and my family had to help me the first couple months. I had 5
yeah.
personnel agencies, and I had maybe 1 or 2 temp jobs
Oh,
per week, like one day.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I was doing research on Halloween and stuff because, I wanted to at least do something Halloween.
Right.
And it was on the news too. And so I did some more research. That year, 2008, when we were in one of the worst recessions, the Halloween industry did like
Yes.
billions of dollars because people
Yes.
just wanted to relax and escape for a while.
Yes. Well, and
Yeah.
so because of how concrete my day job is and how concrete life in general can be, if if you want to pretend, let's go. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I have a child same child. I only have one child. She does all the things. Cosplay is a huge thing. And so, one day I opened the door because we were going to the grocery store, and I opened her room door and I was like, "Are you Oh, you're Raven from Teen Titans." And I mean, we're talking wig, big, huge purple satin cape with the hood,
Oh, cool.
a black leotard, gray tights, black combat boots,
Yeah.
red, linked um belt, bracelets, the whole nine. And I was like, "So you're going to the grocery store like that?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Cool.
And I said, "Okay, but here's my rule. If somebody comments, because somebody's going to comment,
Yeah.
you cannot be upset." And she's like, "Well, I don't think anybody's going to comment." And I was like, "Look, it's just sit down. Let's talk about the fact that for certain that someone's going to comment. And if
Yeah.
you're not going to be okay with that, then go put jeans and a t-shirt on, because I don't want you to use it as an excuse to be offended."
Yeah.
And so she didn't, and we went to the grocery store, and I can tell you for certain those kids in that grocery store had the very best time. I have never seen anybody get their picture taken in a grocery store so often. And
Oh,
I
they
was
took
like,
pictures with her?
"Oh yeah," they were
Oh my
running up
God, I
and they're
love
like,
it.
"Oh, Raven is here."
Oh
So
my God.
one of my things with the pretend, and with the stories that we write, is
Yeah.
that they they give people permission, if they need it, to breathe differently, and to like release for just a little bit, even if it's 15 minutes while you're on the train, even if it's a half an hour while you're snacking on Chips Ahoy cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
You are allowed to just for a moment believe, especially with paranormal. You're for a second allowed to believe that there is something truly fantastical out there, and you just have to wait for it. And I think that that is one of the most amazing things that we as paranormal authors do, is show people the possibilities, show people that this could be really cool. I think that like you were saying with 2008, and even now with a lot of the stuff that's happening at the moment,
Yeah.
there is this need for not being in reality. And if you're reading a book and it has to do with goblins and ogres, and or witches and vampires, or ghosts, just for a little while, you're there. And hopefully, between the two of us, we're writing worlds that people can truly immerse themselves in and escape in. Justice is generally served in paranormals. And so it has all of the elements that can make you feel like,
Yeah.
before you jump back in. And maybe you jump back into real life then at a slightly lower level of,
Yeah.
this is not as awesome as it could be, because I always liken it to kind of a floor and a ceiling. So if you are, bopping along the floor, things are all right. Something happens, you get a little kick in your carpet. But if things are happening and you're like up towards the ceiling, that little bump can shove your nose into the
Yeah.
tiles. And if you are always up there, then you never get a chance to like release and
Yeah.
come down back toward the floor where, okay, so you ran out of bread. It's not a big deal when you're towards the floor. It's a huge deal if you're up near the ceiling. And so if reading can give you that space to sink back down,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that as often as you can?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, when your stories do that too, because you've got all the justice in there, and you've got these characters that I'm like, where are you? Because I really want to come have tea. Like, I'll bring cake, I promise.
Yeah.
And so but
Right.
knowing that that is there, and that it can put you in a place of, or even a place of anticipation, like, okay, when I get this done, I'm going to go read another chapter, because I just, I want
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. I was really upset by the news. Well, we all are. Oh, I mean, well, some of us are. Every day. Oh, there she goes.
Oh,
And it was right when Stranger Things dropped, the
yes,
end of May and then July. And I
yes,
took a break from the world news and I just
yes,
watched Stranger Things. I was like,
yeah,
yay,
yeah.
give me a
Bring it.
break. Give me a
Yeah.
break.
I do love Stranger Things though. I was totally cackling when I saw that Kate Bush and
Oh,
her
yeah, Kate
song
Bush.
hit the charts, and people are
Yeah,
like, Kate Bush, and have you heard of? And I'm like, oh, come on now. I have
okay.
the original.
Yeah.
I
I,
bought it from, the warehouse when they used to sell
right.
tapes in those really strangely
Yeah,
constructed plastic thingies that they had to pop them out of
yeah,
at the counter, but
yeah.
even that, bringing people into, and it those are dark stories, but they
Right, right.
also have light at the end. And I think right now people are very interested in feeling like there is a way to overcome
Yeah.
even the most horrible of monsters.
Light versus dark, and they
Yeah.
all come together. I love how all the characters they care about each other and they
Yes.
love each other. Not the evil one, but
No, yeah,
they all
well,
come
as you do.
together.
But yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
that's something too, I think, I know within my books in the different places that I write, a lot of it is about the community.
yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
is going on, it's about those relationships inside the community. Is there a murder? Most likely. Is there, something horrible going on? Pretty much. Or, you need
yeah,
something to move the story along. But one of the reasons that most people come back and they look for the next one and they want to know when that's coming out is that they want the community. They want to feel like they're a part of something, and they
yes,
want to see
yes,
how everyone is growing and doing, and they're rooting for, your main character
yeah,
to um get, to overcome whatever it is they're going through, and then also to serve justice in a way that's like, oh, yeah, that's all right. Yep, I'm there
yeah,
for that. So yeah.
exactly. I'm listening to you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No worries. Kitty cats, I love
I
them.
know.
Yours are beautiful. That is
Like
so
I say,
fantastic.
my familiars, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. The familiars like to be a little
Yes.
familiar sometimes.
Well, I know. I'm gonna thank you for being here today with us. And everything you're said
Absolutely.
just inspires me, like renews my inspiration of
I understand.
my joy of the paranormal realm too. I mean, I love literary fiction as well,
Yeah,
books like The Notebook or whatever,
right.
and stuff like that. But I love writing in the paranormal.
Yes. Well, and that's, it's interesting because there are some people who are like, it's paranormal. And I'm like, try it. If you really don't like it, then that's okay. Like when I'm doing book signings, and somebody comes up and they're like, oh, I don't do paranormal. And I'm like, well, that's fine. But what do you do then? And they're like, oh, I like, you know, women's fiction. Okay, well, so if you go right over there, there's like three
Yeah,
books that I highly recommend. There are all of these genres and there are all of these different kinds of books for one specific reason. There is something out there for everyone.
and
And
yeah,
I just wouldn't, don't shut it out just because you haven't
yeah,
done it yet. Like
right.
you might really like paranormal. You may like one kind of paranormal, but not another kind of paranormal. You know, if the back speaks
Yeah,
to you, check it out. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with stepping outside your comfort zone a little bit to see if a book, maybe that might be the exact one that you need to read.
exactly. And
Yeah,
one second.
no worries. Well, and I also
I,
think too that there are different times for different kinds of books. There's I might be in a place to enjoy women's fiction. I don't tend to always go there because I really like to laugh when I'm reading. Or I like to
yeah,
be involved in murder investigation kind of things when I'm
right.
reading. but that does not mean that I'm not aware of who's out there and can guide somebody towards something that's going to speak to them. Not everybody likes, exactly what I do, and that is absolutely fine. I want you to be reading something that speaks to you.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I would say the same thing as you. You're very diplomatic when someone comes up to you at your paranormal signing and says, "I don't do paranormal," which is fine. If I
I
get
mean,
that
it's
one,
not my
that's
fault
fine.
you have bad taste.
Yeah. But I mean, that's very diplomatic. But so now I have your links in
Yes,
this blog post because if someone's watching this, they're in the blog post for 31
awesome.
Days of Halloween with the Kelly Society.
I love it.
Is the paranormal cleansing team of my book series, the Kelly Society. And but did you want to verbalize it?
Sure. So you can go to www.mistysimon.com.
Yeah,
There are a couple different tabs on there that you might want to take a look at. One is Let's Meet Up. That shows all the places that I'm going to be in the near future.
yeah.
There's a books tab, and within the books tab, it also will go into different series depending on what you're looking for. And then there's also Give Me a Holler, and that's where, quite frankly, I absolutely adore hearing from anyone, whether
Oh,
you're reading or not. Drop me a line and I would be happy to talk to you.
fabulous. So I have to tell you one more thing off camera, but for now,
Okay.
we're going to say, sorry, here we go. We're going to say Happy Halloween
Happy
2022, everybody.
Halloween. Yes.